Hey guys, Brian from Snowwalker Bushcraft, and I thought it was kind of ironic. I was looking at my channel, and the very first video that I put up was how to make snowshoes, which was kind of cool. But I never put a video up on how to choose snowshoes. So I think today we're going to have a discussion in the Winter Skills series on choosing snowshoes and what to look for and the different types that are out there. I have two different types. I have a high-tech and a traditional. There's also one that's known as a hybrid. So let's get into that right now. So we're back and we're discussing choosing snowshoes. And some of the things that we want to be aware of when we are choosing a snowshoe, a type of snowshoe that we want to use, is we want to remember, we want to base it on, one, the activity that we're going to be doing. Are we going to be hiking? Are we going to be trapping? Are we going to be doing the trail running craze? They actually make specially designed snowshoes for those. We want to take into consideration our weight, right? It's not just our body weight, all right? You have to factor in pack weight, the amount of equipment that you're going to be carrying at any given time. You want to think about your conditions. What do we have? You know, is it a wet, compactable snow? Is it a powder snow? The amount of snow that you have. Is it going to be traversing on ice? Is there a lot of uphills? Is there a lot of forest? These are all different things that you want to think about, as well as the area, again, that you're going to be in. Getting back to the mountainous region, or a plains region, or a forested area, or a non-forested area. Those are some of the things that you're going to want to take into consideration. Let's talk about the types of snowshoes that are out there. I have two different types, but there obviously is more. So the first pair that I'm going to show you is basically the bomb-proof, high-tech pair of snowshoes. All right, it has an aluminum frame that it goes all the way around. There's a high-tech deck on it. It's a flexible vinyl plastic that they've used. It replaces the webbing, obviously. It has almost a it has a molded binding that you just step right in, and it accommodates many different sizes of boots. Very simply, pop it in, adjust it, you adjust the heel strap, and everything is ready to go. And very, very, very low maintenance. You're going to look at them, you know, before you take them out, make sure all your rivets are in there. Check your crampons, maybe they may need a little bit of sharpening and whatnot. Make sure, again, all the rivets are here as well. Make sure there's no tears in the deck, and then you're going to be good to go. You know, essentially very, very bomber proof. And you'll buy a pair, and if you want one pair of snowshoes and you don't ever have to do any work to them, well, this may be a way for you to go. We'll discuss a little bit more about the terrain and things to use different snowshoes, but this is the first pair. Second pair, as you can see here, this is a traditional bear paw. You've seen them before in other videos that I've had. You know, ash frame, you know, the babish or the rawhide lacing. Very much traditional snowshoe. They are, right now, they are, you know, nostalgic pieces for some people. I still enjoy using traditional snowshoes. I like them a lot better. I think there's more character to them, and that's just my personal opinion. Okay. Over here you have the pair of beaver tails, the Algonquins, the Michigans, whichever ones you want to call. That's the other pair that I have over here. Okay, drawback with these, they are maintenance intensive. You have to check them, you have to sand them down, you have to repair the babish or the rawhide if it gets broken. You have to put varnish on them all the time. If you lose the varnish, you know, the webbing will start to sag. Pros and cons, again, it's all what an individual is looking for. Third type of snowshoe that is out there is known as a hybrid, and that's where they take, you know, either an ash frame, and then they put the high-tech bindings and deck on the inside, or they reverse it and they take the aluminum frames and put like a webbing in there, but it's not Babbage. It's usually made out of it's almost like a rubber. I almost want to say it's almost like a tire, where it has an actual cord on the inside of it, and you know, it's pretty much bomb-proof. That's somebody that wants like kind of the best of both worlds. I'm not into those. Don't like them. Don't want them. And that's just, again, my opinion. That may not work for you. You may want to do that. So let's start talking about terrains and reasons why we would pick snowshoes for what they are. If you're in terrain, if you're in a high mountain terrain, like when I go to the Adirondacks, unless I'm in a nice flat area of unforested area, or, you know, moderately forested area, you know, if I'm doing altitude, I'm taking these. All right, I prefer to go with a high-tech snowshoe. I suggest it as a shorter or narrower shoe. All right, because it's going to help you as you're going on a transverse or zigzag type trail. All right, and basically it helps you break those trails by easing the direction change. All right, so it makes it a little bit easier for you as you're traversing and going up. So that's why I would go with the high-tech snowshoe. And again, because of the fact that it has built-in crampons, so you don't have to worry about that. Where these, you can get crampons for them, but they're not as aggressive as these. And as you can see, you have a very large rate of movement in the snowshoe that when you're in altitude, you can dig right in, and you're going to have the availability of this crampon that's on the deck to help steady you while you're using the front to climb as you're going up. Okay, so we've talked about mountain terrain. Let's talk about the plains. Now, when I mention plains, I mean more of a level, more open terrain. There's less obstacles. Usually we encounter wind-packed trails, so you're not breaking a lot of trail. You can, I mean, there are drifts and things of that nature, but what I suggest is you're going to want a long, narrow, traditional snowshoe. Something in this configuration of a beaver tail would be fine. You know, you can use it, but they do make longer versions, okay, and they make narrower versions. You'll have the Ojibwe. You'll also have what's known as an Alaskan snowshoe, which is actually pretty much like this, only it's longer, right? And this part is more narrow near your foot. And basically what that does is that helps to ease your gait while you're walking. So you can take those longer strides and you'll make better time, which is why we would want to use something like that in a snowshoe. So now let's go on to your forested areas. So let's talk about the forested area. The forested area, obviously, just due to its nature, is you're going to be dealing with a lot more of breaking unpacked snow. So, and the reason being because there's a lot of obstacles in the forested area. You know, whether it be blowdowns, whether it be stumps, or whether it be brambles, and things of that nature. You know, stone walls, all kinds of things that you're going to find out there. It's going to be a little bit more difficult for you to navigate through that. So, you know, a suggestion that you can go with is you can go with the bear paw, all right? And the bear paw actually is a little bit wider than most of your other snowshoes, traditional snowshoes, except for maybe a Montague, which I don't have a pair of those. But and they don't have any tails, so they're shorter, all right? So they're a little bit more maneuverable. Okay, now the larger shoe will actually provide you with a more stable gait, and because of the toe being as small as it is, all right, there's less chance of buildup of a lot of snow here on your toe, weighing the shoe down. So that might be something for you to consider when you're choosing a snowshoe, you know, for a forested area as well. All right, guys, so we've basically gone over, you know, choosing a snowshoe and whatnot, but some last minute tips that you may want to consider while you're doing it. Pack trails, right? A narrow shoe you could probably get away with because you're not breaking a lot of trails, so you're just dealing with packed snow and you're not busting through. And you can attach crampons to those too, because they have a tendency to get slippery. They almost turn into ice. When we discuss tails on snowshoes, tails are there and they act as a rudder for you. Okay, they help to keep you straight while you're breaking trail. They also act as a counterbalance to help lift the toe as well. If you're in a dense area with those, they can become cumbersome, so you want to take that into consideration. When we talk about the bear paws, they are very manageable and very maneuverable when you're in a dense area. The only problem with those is that they have a tendency to drag. Okay, so you're going to want to take that into consideration. Okay, again, your weight, your body weight, the bigger that you are, the bigger snowshoe you're going to need. Conversely, the taller that you are, the wider the snowshoe that you're going to need. And lastly, when you're choosing your snowshoes, add the weight of your pack. All right, do your homework, check out the manufacturer's recommendations, and kind of work from there. All right, and I'm sure that you'll find a pair of snowshoes that's going to help you along the way. You're going to be able to walk around and you're going to enjoy the woods. So this is Brian from Snowwalker Bushcraft, and thank you for your views and your comments, and until the next one, walk the woods. What's up, bud?